Hello and welcome to Space Shark Teaches. I'm Sean from Space Shark Studios, and I'm here to teach you visual scripting in Godot 3.1. Let's get started. In this lesson, we're going to clean up our movement by using a new variable called movement velocity, as well as learning how to use getters and setters for variables. So we've been using getters already. As you can see, we get the floor normal, we get the move speed, but we have never set these outside of over here in the inspector. So we're going to be doing that today for a new variable called movement velocity. That's going to be a vector 2. And I don't know why, but you have to set these to something else and then switch them out. And there, we now have a movement velocity. I am going to change floor normal to not be export anymore. Right click, edit member, just because it kind of makes this messy and we don't really want it to change. So after that, we want to make a new function called move. And that is actually going to go at the end of this movement chain. So right now we have move right, move left, jump, gravity, and move. Move is going to set our self, move and slide, and we are going to use our movement velocity to move. And we're going to be using movement velocity from now on instead of move and slide. As you can see right now, we have move and slide, all over the place. The problem with using it in this way is we are overwriting this linear velocity every time. So it'll clash anytime we get to this area, which is why we have some issues with gravity and jump and all of that. So let's go ahead and start with our movement. So we're going to delete basically this whole block. And same thing with move right. So for move left, we are going to get our movement speed, just like we did before. Going to use math negate, just like we've done. Update this to be a vector 2, and then we are going to actually use the add node in order to add another vector 2. We're going to add the movement velocity. And now we have our movement velocity. Actually, let's switch this around so it looks a little more clear. So we have our movement velocity, and we are going to add negative move speed. So we're going to go to the left. This doesn't do anything though, because we need to hold control and then drag movement velocity out here so that we can set its value. So now we are going to set the value of this add, which means that every frame that we have the left arrow held down, we are going to basically subtract move speed from the current movement velocity and set that as the current movement velocity, or as the new current movement velocity. We're going to do the same thing here. So drag in movement velocity, drag in move speed. We're going to add these two together, make sure that they are vectors, and then control click drag movement velocity, and only set it if right is held down. Let's make sure that these look good. They do. Back like that. And now let's go ahead and test it out and see what happens. Okay, we shot off the screen. Why is that happening? It's because every single physics process, we are running the same thing. So for move right, we are adding move speed every frame. we're not resetting it. It is just being added onto and added onto, which means we go from 300 to 600 to 900 to 1200 and on and on and on. And that's not good. That's not what we want. We actually want to come into physics process, and then we want to move all of these over, and then we want to reset movement velocity in the x direction. So let's come into here, add this new set, and what we want to do is multiply by 0 and 1. So what this does is says we have this movement velocity. Our left and right, we want to multiply it by 0. And then our up and down, we want to move it to 1. And this will reset our x and y movement, or our x movement every cycle, so that when we press play, we move smoothly left and right. Next up, we have gravity and jumping. So let's go ahead and add gravity. We'll do it the same way that we did before. So get movement velocity, set movement velocity, get an add in there, and get the vector 2 going. So it seems good, right? We're just going to add gravity. Okay. So what is going on here? That is because this is not 1. So when this is 1, it means that whatever the movement velocity is, the y value will stay. I don't know why that didn't save last time. Let's go ahead and do this again. And now you'll see that just like with move right and move left, just adding it every cycle is not the correct solution. So let's see what we can do. Let's move all this out, set it up like this, and then let's get that nice little function called isOnFloor. So now we can say if we are on the floor, we do not want to add the gravity every round. We only want to do this if it's false. If we're on the floor, what we actually want to do is set it to gravity. So if we're on the floor, set the movement velocity to gravity. Otherwise, add gravity to the movement velocity. Let's see if that works. Well, we forgot to do one thing with move, and that is set the floor normal. So that's why we're falling, because we're never actually on the ground. So let's drag the floor normal in, add it here, and now when we save and play, we can't move. So why can't we move? Well, if you look at the order of operations, we're checking to move right, move left, jump, and then we're adding the gravity. But if we're on the ground, then we're setting the movement velocity to gravity. And gravity is 0 in the left and right. So what we'll actually do is change this ordering so that gravity is the first thing that happens. So now we have gravity, then movement, then jump, then move. There we go. And gravity is working correctly too. But let's test jump. We haven't actually updated jump, right? So, first off, let's switch UI up to just pressed because we only want it to jump once. Actually, we can leave that as pressed if we want. But we want to update all of this. So let's keep jump speed. Drag in this movement velocity. Add them together as a vector 2. And then control drag. And now we say if we're on the floor and we have up held down, there we go. All right, we're jumping. Now we can set some values to make things look a little bit nicer. So 50 for the gravity, 500 for the move speed, so we're going a little faster. And then let's do -1000 so we don't fly off the screen every time we jump. And there we go. We have proper movement. Movement, jumping, we have falling working correctly, gravity, everything. Your player controller for a side scroller is now complete. In the next couple of lessons, we're going to start going over making the level, including scrolling background, new platforms, and collecting coins. So, see you then. Thank you for watching Space Shark Teaches. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe to the channel and remember to click the bell to always stay up to date. Please also join us on our Discord, linked in the comments, and check out our other videos if you ever want to see what else we've been up to. Thanks again for watching, and we can't wait to see what you make.